Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of the Panther Sports Podcast. I'm Luke Jowers.
And I'm Braylen Dooley.
And today we're interviewing two of the captains for the varsity cheer team, Reece Jones and Tessa Hardy. Welcome in.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Good.
So y'all have UIL state competition this Thursday, or does it start on Friday? Friday, but y'all go there on Thursday.
Yes.
How are y'all feeling? Are we expecting another state championship? What's it looking like?
You know, I can't really say what we think we're going to get, but I think that we have put in a lot of work and a lot of time, and I think the results will definitely show that.
Yeah, we've been having 3 to 4 hour practices every single day for the past
2 months.
2 months. And it honestly just, sometimes things happen on the mat that we don't want it to, but we're all going to just put out our best and hope for another state champion.
Yeah.
So what are things y'all do in these 3 to 4 hour practices? Because everyone knows cheer is just kind of what you see at football, but no one really sees behind the scenes and all that. So what do y'all do for state competition type of cheer?
So practices for UIL look a lot different than what we do at games, where games are just us doing short little 30-second cheers.
Yeah.
For UIL, there are 4 different sections that we do on the mat. You have band chant, situational, cheer, and fight song. So at practice, we go over all 4 of those categories, and we perfect our motions and make sure they look sharp and in sync. And then we do a full out, which is the whole routine, as if we were competing.
Yes, and a lot of people think it's just an easy cheer, but it's really a lot harder because we're putting all of our energy into it, doing it over and over and over again in the practices, making sure our motions are an inch further apart or a little bit better. And some people are taller, some people are shorter, so you have to accommodate for every single person. But yeah.
Isn't y'all's whole routine only 3 minutes long though?
Yes.
So y'all been practicing for, y'all said 2 months for sure, just for a 3-minute routine. Why does it take that much practicing just for a 3-minute routine?
It takes a lot of time because every single motion that all 30 girls do on the mat has to look the exact same, and they have to go at the exact same time. And not only do we have to focus on our sharpness, but we also have to make sure we look really energized and happy on the mat.
Yes.
So that takes a lot of practice. You have to keep doing it over and over and over again because you have to build up the endurance.
You said you had everybody has to be on time, on the same page. Does that take a lot of just team chemistry of everybody being on the same page about stuff, or is it more of the routine kind of requires everybody to do the same thing at the same moment?
Well, it does take a lot of chemistry. If there's been times in the past whenever the team doesn't work as well together, which can lead to if there's a more negative attitude in the within the team, it just doesn't work out, and people get really down and just give up. But so this year I think we have a really good environment and everyone works well together. But yes, you do kind of just have to sometimes you just have to get it. Everyone has to just understand that they need to be together. But it also we'll go through each individual section 3 people at a time or 5 people at a time to tell them oh, you need to do your motion a little bit different. Or we even we've had to make a lot of changes in the routine for sometimes we'll be doing things over and over and over again and it just doesn't work, so we have to change it.
And even if everyone's motions look the exact same and look really in sync, if the chemistry isn't there and we're not all enjoying ourselves, a lot of the time it's not going to look good because the audience isn't engaged, and you have to be really crowd engaging.
Yeah, our team is known for having really good a different type of energy, and that's why we've won in the past. So if we're not really we're not having fun and it shows on the mat, we're probably not going to do as well as a time whenever everyone's having so much fun.
Do y'all think this chemistry and energy y'all have comes from more outside of school type of friend groups and all that? Y'all have known each other since at least middle school, since elementary school. Do y'all think that's where a lot of your connection comes?
I think that can definitely be a big factor. I think if everyone kind of is already friends, that is definitely a good thing. But we also have had people, who are seniors and people who are freshmen come together and become really good friends because of the mat. And I think it's more about our energy during practice rather than how we feel outside of practice, because you can like have a really bad day and come in and, you know, see your friend who you normally wouldn't be friends with unless you were on the mat with them, and it can like change your mood.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm sitting next to people that I'm sitting next to freshmen, sophomores, juniors, people that aren't in my immediate friend group. So, like, it obviously helps that we have, like, a bunch of seniors and we're all really good friends, but we're also, like, all by different people. So it really, like, I think it can be affected by outside relationships, but, like, it really just depends
And
on how it
you're
ends up.
spending so much time together that there's not really room to not be like hanging out. Like I have made so many good friends who I like are sophomores or freshmen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if like football and baseball, basketball, the other sports, there's certain positions. How does that kind of work with cheer? Like I mean I know there's flyers, but is everybody kind of have their own position, groups, like everybody doing their different thing. Like how does that work? Because I know like you might not do the same thing as like y'all said Gloria was a flyer. Like how does that work?
So on the mat we have spiriters, people who do megs, which is megaphones, signs, and then stunts. And so, like in stunt groups, you have the flyers, the bases, the back spot. They all work differently to make one thing work. And then you have the spiriters who are doing like the
Actual
motions.
cheers.
Yeah. And then you have the signs who are holding up the signs that show like what the audience needs to say. Megs who are yelling, which are really, really important because that's where we get a lot of our noise. And so all of those things like do very different things, but they all work together to make the routine. And like one year you might be basing the whole routine. Like my sophomore year I was basing the whole routine, but my freshman year I was spiriting the whole routine. And everything is hard for different reasons, but we need every single position anyway because they all do something.
And how does it all get like figured out? Like how do do coaches know where to put flyers and who's gonna be base and like a megaphone and signs? Like how do they know where y'all need to be?
At the beginning of the year we have tryouts for purple team and white team, which our white team is our varsity team, purple team is our JV team for competition, and we do competition like cheers and things, and like they pretty much just see everything. So I'm a sign right now and I was assigned last year, so like they know that I was good at being assigned, so I was assigned. And some people are really like, I know Grace, one of the other captains, she is really, really strong, and so she's a base, so like they kind of know. And they also like do interviews about talking with like what your strong suits are. They kind of like, and they see throughout the year, like before competition season. So like whenever we're having practices for homecoming, which we like we do dancing, cheers, all of that. So they kind of like know our individual like strengths, and they will just like give us a position on the mat. But like as Tessa was saying, like every position is really important. Like I'm a sign and Tessa's a spiriter, and sometimes she's a sign too, or a megaphone. But like if I mess up my sign, that's like a big deal. And some people, like we also have flags that are in the back, which some people do get a little bit upset if they're a flag because they're in the back. But it is just as important.
You can see everyone,
and you can see every single person on the mat is extremely important. Like it doesn't matter if someone in the back messes up or if someone in the front messes up. It's all equally important. Like if a flag misses, that is a huge deduction, and it's like every single thing is important.
That's what I was just about to ask. Like for these big, obviously for pep rallies, y'all can do whatever and just kind of get the students fired up and all that sort of stuff. When y'all have like the actual competitions, is there like a set requirement? Like it can't be over a certain amount of time. There has to be a certain amount of signs held up, stuff like that. Is there like requirements for how the competitions have to work?
So the routines have to be under 3 minutes. If you're over that time, you have to find a way to cut it out and make it faster. Signs, there's not a required amount of signs, but you have to have enough signs that the audience knows what they're going to say. And which is why we do show offs, because we want our crowd to understand what's happening. And
it just like it pretty much, you have to like, it's for visual appeal, and like there's a bunch of different like categories for the competition. So it's like visual appeal and crowd effectiveness is one thing that it's not really like exactly. And there's motion technique, obviously, like how sharp are your motions, how in sync you are. But like how engaged with, like, if I have a PHS sign, obviously that means whenever I put it up, the crowd is yelling PHS. But say if we wanted the crowd to say PHS, but we don't have signs or flags going, they're not going to know what it is. So it has to be like matches what we want the crowd to say, because it's pretty much like, it's supposed to be like we're on a football field telling the crowd what to do. Kind of like, it's kind of like that, but it's obviously on a stage, so we're not on a football field. But
Yeah, and crowd engagement is like a big part of our score sheet. Like if you are not engaging the crowd, then you're not going to get the points you need to win. Even if you're super, super sharp, if you're not really like, if the crowd isn't really excited, then it's going to show, and the judges are going to feel that. Yeah. And also another thing with like signs, you were asking like, is there like requirements or like deductions for that? A big thing with like all of our props is if you're not utilizing them correctly, like if you're not holding the meg up to your mouth and it's not actually doing its purpose, and you can get points off for that. If there's a sign on the ground and you kick it with your foot, that's considered dangerous and illegal, so you get deductions for that.
yeah.
So a lot of the like different props that we have, like their purpose isn't just to like do the thing that they're doing, but also to engage the crowd.
Yeah, and if like, say past school, we have the exact same routine as another team, but we have the same energy, the same motions, but they don't put their mouth all the way up to the meg or something like that, and we do put our mouth to the meg and they don't, like, we'll win just because they haven't done that. Or like if we are more engaged with the crowd but they're way sharper than us, like, or not way sharper than us but sharper than us, like it could take over and like we could still win, because it just like all has different.
So with the state championship being like a huge thing, how many teams are like a part of this, and then who is like a big competitor that y'all have seen that has been like the top with y'all a lot in the last 4 years that you've been here?
So we typically compete against 74 other teams in our division, and with that you have a lot of really great teams. This year one of our biggest competitors has been Birdville. They are super, super sharp, really, really loud.
Yeah, they beat us in our grapevine competition, but
I think that because we had a lot of mistakes at that competition, we have a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
If we did perfect, that would be an issue.
If we were perfect and they still beat us, that would definitely, it would be an issue, and I'd be like a lot more worried. But we did have a lot of mistakes, which like, if we don't have any mistakes, we definitely have a chance of like winning.
And another thing too is like it really comes down to like the like decimal, like it's like it literally is like 0.001.
Yeah, how does the scoring work?
How much was it last year that we were probably 0.2 points away from second place?
Yeah, so whenever you get up to like the top 10 teams, the points get really, really close. Like we could beat someone by like 0.1 of a point just because like we smiled a little bit more than they did, or like
there's not really room for mistakes.
I mean, so y'all clearly have like a lot to remember, whether it's don't kick a sign, hold the megaphone up to your mouth, smile, all those things. How do y'all kind of deal with that? Because maybe it's just me as a guy, because I don't do cheer. Like I feel like I wouldn't be able to remember all of those little things. Is it one of those things where you just get into like the routine of it and it's just like like practicing it over and over and over again? Or are y'all like, when y'all are doing the cheers and the stunts and stuff, are y'all remember like, all right, I gotta smile, I gotta all the things?
So a lot of it comes down to the fact that we practice so much, like it's muscle memory.
And whenever you go to perform, like you kind of like, I mean, I black out. Like, I don't even remember.
The adrenaline is like...
Yeah, the adrenaline kicks in. And you, like, I don't know how many times I've done the routine. Like, probably, like, 500 times. And over and over again. So, it is muscle memory.
And another thing, too, with, like, the smiling and, like, keeping your energy up, we do this thing called callbacks. So, they're not really words that, like, we need to be saying, but they're words that kind of fill in the, like, dead space. And, like, if you feel like it's kind of getting quieter, you can look at your friend and be like, let's go, Reece, or be like, come on.
You can call out your friends, which they obviously, like, none of, like, the audience can hear, like, me being like, let's go, Tessa, but it is, like, a moment to encourage everyone on the team.
And it helps you remember that you need to bring your energy up.
Yeah, for sure.
How many, like, routines have y'all tried this year? Like, do y'all switch a lot, or y'all kind of just try to, like, find one in the beginning and try to stick with it?
So, in the beginning of the year, we get our band chant song, and typically we do those 2 years in a row and then we change it. And
Yeah.
this year we have a new song, and
So we have
it's
all new choreography.
yeah, and so that typically takes a lot of time to figure out like what we're gonna do, the choreography. We have choreographers who come in and help us, but then after they choreograph, we change a lot of the routine.
We changed it yesterday.
Yeah.
We changed it the day.
It changes up until the day before competition,
Yeah,
and
so-
sometimes that day.
Yeah.
When y'all find something you like, something that works, that y'all's coaches are like, all right, the judges, should like this. Do y'all try and stay consistent with that, or y'all constantly even, like you said, trying to change it? Like if y'all find a routine and your coach is like, all right, this, these 30 seconds work really well, or we're going to keep that. Does it change, literally all the time?
It changes probably like every day, like a little
Mhm.
bit. There's always
yeah.
things we need to work on, and also a lot of times if we think like the judges are gonna like something, we will do that. But if we feel like that thing that we're doing doesn't really bring us excitement or joy, we're probably gonna change it, because if we're not excited, it shows.
Yeah.
And that's like a big part of like our energy that we give off.
Yeah, for sure. Like there are things like obviously like this is what you should do to like so that you like we can get the maximum amount of points. But like we tried changing something yesterday that we could like improve on, but it like a lot of people were just thinking like this is just not fun for me. It's boring, and I just can't really like have my fullest potential if that's what it is. So we have to like really make sacrifices. Like, do we want to try and make this the best that we can, but we like it, but there's chance of like getting points taken off, or like are we going to stick to safe but it is boring?
So clearly, I mean, there are hundreds of little things that go into one of these, these routines, these competitions. What's something, I mean, y'all have listed plenty of things. What's kind of something that y'all as captains can, bring to the team, say to the team, of like a piece of, kind of good memo going into this weekend? Because, I mean, I can imagine this is state championships. Like, it's very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
What's something y'all can do as captains to kind of, soothe everybody's nerves a little bit and make sure that they're focused and ready for Friday and Saturday?
I think a lot of it, like a lot of times what we do is before we do a full out, we'll, get our team together and say a couple words of comfort and try. Like yesterday we had done so much work, like we were exhausted and we had to go and do a full out.
It was really hard.
I turned around and I looked at everyone and I said, I know that you want to die, but don't let this practice go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't just work for months and months and months for this full out to be not your best. And
Yeah.
so like I think that it takes, like there's definitely moments that you can say things like that. But we also have a lot of time to talk to each other, and we, a lot of the times we spend together, we get in circles and we try to say things that will get them excited.
Yeah, I also think like a lot of people get really stressed out about like how hard competition is and how much we want to win, but we really have to focus on like being just like excited and having fun, because whenever you get so much in your head about we have to win, we have to do this perfectly, a lot of people get super like in their head and really stressed out about it. But just like kind of like just letting it go a little bit and just having fun and doing your best is like what's important. So you have to tell everyone to remember to do that.
All right. And what time do y'all perform on Friday?
5:03.
All right. So everybody watching where's it at?
The Fort Worth Convention Center.
In
Fort Worth
downtown.
Convention Center. Everybody should go out and support our cheer team. We want to thank y'all for coming out and talking to us and filling us in on all the little details of cheer. And
Thank you for having us.
we'll see y'all next week for the next episode.